Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? A gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It is Thursday morning. It's 2:31 in the a.m. and it's July 9th. Okay, I'm just going to dive right in, man, because I heard a news story this morning before I left the house that pissed me off to the maximum level of pacificity. And there seems to be more and more frequent these days, and I need to talk about it. The WNBA has a PR problem. And the problem can be identified by one person, Caitlin Clark. I have been a basketball fan for forever. Now I'm going to tell my age. And I'm going to tell my age just by citing history. See, I played basketball in high school. And we made it to the state playoffs. I'm a fairly decent baller, but not good enough for scholarship baller. I was offered a scholarship in softball, however. But, I attempted to play in college, and I stopped playing for a couple of reasons. One being my health. Discovered I had severe asthma. And I discovered that in the running drills. There's always been some type of symptom throughout my childhood, but never formally diagnosed. The other reason is my brother was a pretty decent ball player who received a scholarship, and I didn't want to be known as so-and-so's sister. A la the Millers, Cheryl and Reggie. See, me knowing who Cheryl Miller is lets you know I know her or know about her from beyond her USC days and being a basketball coach. Cheryl was a decent hooper. Then, I'm going to name some names. There was the woman that they call Lady Magic, Nancy Lieberman. Bad sister from Old Dominion. Rebecca Lobo, Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, Cynthia Cooper, Teaspoon, that's Teresa Weatherspoon. Okay? The WNBA started in 1996. Yeah. I know basketball. Now we got this woman, Caitlin Clark, who has a pretty decent shot. But, the WNBA knew what it was doing when they hyped her. And they put her in the same kind of a framework and context that they put Larry Bird in when he was playing against Magic. The great white hope. This is the white savior of the sport of basketball. Not since Bob Cousy and Jerry West. Now, Jerry West could ball. Cousy was a decent dribbler. But the media and the WNBA got behind Caitlin Clark till they saw her trash talking, which she does. Now, you can't trash talk and try to come through the middle. You can't trash talk and come to the paint, because people are going to make you pay for your trash talk. She flops worse than Danny Ainge. Always has something to say and crying during the game like Danny Ainge. Pretty much, I'm going to equate her to the female counterpart of Danny Ainge. You spend more time whining and crying and sniveling about the game and how you're mistreated, the white woman tears, than you are about playing the game and acknowledging, hey, it's a business, but the reason I started playing and I continue to play was because it was fun. Then it became a business, and then people got behind you in the business, and you want to be a baller shot caller. Now the government is threatening to get involved to analyze the treatment of this individual. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Out of all the players in the WNBA, and one name keeps getting mentioned, who is the common denominator? And what's the need for investigation when the problem has been identified? See, now I'm starting to look at the WNBA different. I looked at it as an opportunity for women to play. They're still woefully underpaid. Woefully. And then we had Brittany Griner with her vape pen that kind of tainted the overseas opportunities. Yeah, I called her out. Then we had Cheryl Swoops with the I'm gay, I'm not gay focus. You have a couple of other little things that were going on, and had the world's attention. Nowhere else but in America does this have, this level of attention and intrusion. But now we have to look at how racism is beginning to taint sports. It has always been there, however. Let's go to what we're watching with the soccer, the World Cup, where certain players are being called apes and bananas are being thrown on the soccer playing field. The hooliganism, baseball, where fans are getting beat up in stadiums. We need to look at our culture and the disease that we're allowing to permeate and metastasize in our culture and how we see one another. I don't know about you, but I personally am sick of privilege and entitlement leading the way. Let's talk about skills and merit. And give respect where respect is due. WNBA, if you're not careful, you're going to be under sanctions that you can't get out from under. And I want to say, for me now, you're known as the White Nationalist Basketball Association. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way based on that single individual that you're allowing to go unchecked, unfiltered, unmonitored. Let's talk about sports and their punitive actions. You seem to find time to deal with Allen Iverson. Forced him out. Colin Kaepernick forced him out. Michael Vick forced him out. There was a whole lot of chatter about Brittany Griner. Whole lot. But nobody is saying anything about the actions of Caitlin Clark. She's the victim.